Hello you, it's me. Today we're going to talk about Spin by Robert Charles Wilson. This is the first Wilson novel I've ever read, and it's a Hugo winner, so going into it I had pretty high expectations. It's the first book in the Spin trilogy, followed by Axis and Vortex. There'll be plot, review, spoiler bits, it's all on the time bar. Feel free to click around. The plot revolves around Tyler Dupree, whose mother lives in a small house on the grounds of a huge mansion owned by the Lawtons and is their assistant/cleaner. Tyler is friends with the children, a boy Jason and a young girl Diane, who he's absolutely head over heels in love with. Their dad's a super powerful politician who's heavily involved in aerospace engineering, holds a lot of sway in government. The story begins when they're all hanging out in the garden as the Lawtons throw a party one night, and suddenly every single star in the sky winks out and disappears. There's global confusion initially, and through sending up probes into the atmosphere, they find out two things. Firstly, that the world has been enclosed in a completely jet black, featureless envelope that scientists start to refer to as the spin, which filters out our sunlight, filters out our starlight. And secondly, that time outside of the barrier is passing at a different rate. For every 1 second that passes on Earth, the universe outside moves on 3.17 years. Or more simply, for every year that passes inside the spin barrier, 100 million years pass by outside. The confusion turns to panic when people realize that in the space of probably just a few decades, the sun will expand, swallow the Earth, and then burn out to nothing. One place this book shines, above every other aspect of this book, is that it so perfectly captures how humans would react if something like this ever happened. You get scientists furiously working to understand the spin field and why it's happening, and the sudden information that we're not alone in the universe that we're faced with is almost pushed to the side as we claw desperately for some kind of data to even get a sniff of an idea about what the hell is happening. And at the same time, you have the religious side of the coin splintering into very different sects. There's people trying to warp the words of holy books to spin what's happening into some kind of foreseen, prophesized apocalypse, end of days, sinners repent type deal, and other religious cults encouraging materialism and hedonism in the face of the end of the world. It's a very slow burn apocalypse in a lot of ways, and it reminded me very strongly of a lot of themes I saw in P.D. James' book, Children of Men. It has a very similar attitude of, so what? We're all gonna die. What does it matter? Also shown in the story through mass violence, mass suicide. And I will say that for me, this is such a strong thing that a sci-fi story can be built on. Here is the insane thing. Here is the bonkers. It's in the world now. How does it change things? How does it change us? The fact that it's so grounded in reality and in people mean this is a sci-fi that I'd probably recommend to people who read a lot of literary fiction, but want to explore different genres. The story jumps between Tyler Dupree's past, as he grows up and we follow him from boyhood to adulthood. He goes to medical school eventually to work for his friend Jason Lawton, who has become a scientist desperately trying to understand the spin, while Diane has gone off and married the leader of a hedonist sect. And the present, where Diane and Tyler are on the run in Indonesia, wanted for the FBI for possession of mysterious alien technology. And as the two timelines converge, more about each is revealed by the other. Clues in the present clarifying intentions and goals in the past, and information in the past slowly giving us piece by piece things to fill in the gaps with this weird story full of holes that we're being fed that is the present. This is a really odd book. I feel like it was a very human story about the life of one man and the people that surround him, and him being torn between these very different worldviews and not being entirely sure how to react. We follow a person who is a neutral party. He's impartial and almost in denial about what's going on around him. We're not clear whether he has faith that somehow everything will turn out fine, or that he's had such trauma in his own past that he just doesn't give a toss about his life and has collapsed into this almost nonchalant nihilism. But while this is happening, we have this insane science fiction backdrop which is eliciting these human reactions and extreme responses from people. And the type of sci-fi that this book is changes more and more as things are revealed. You could give me excerpts from this book at very different points in this book, and I'd probably put it into very different boxes. But saying that, the place I would be most inclined to put this book is in first contact sci-fi. And I think it's really clever. The humans do not meet aliens, but they are moved by their actions and effects. We deduce their existence through what is happening to us. We even call them hypotheticals, which is this almost oxymoronic statement where we name this thing that we're only pretty sure is there. I've read some reviews saying that how Wilson's attention to mundane detail drags this book out a bit and makes his writing seem overly flowery. But honestly, I liked it a lot, and I thought it was important. It's Tyler that's in denial that the world is imploding around him, that everything is slowly burning out. And it's showing you even harder through attention to mundane detail that this character is going through this experience with blinders on. And he doesn't care. His nihilism is reducing his world to tunnel vision. Another place this book shines is the general vibe. It is tense. At points it's almost uncomfortably tense. You got this sense of foreboding and dread as people approach what could possibly be the end, and how not knowing what's going to happen can sometimes be worse than just knowing something bad's going to happen. It's a super atmospheric book, but I do feel the fact that it's not slow burn, it's slow burn, might put people off a bit, and I wouldn't blame people for putting this book down halfway through in one of the very slow sections of this book. Stuff I liked. Spoilers. Spoilery bits I liked. I loved the way the time difference was dealt with. Suddenly human beings are able to achieve things outside of our planet in a big way, and in the space of their own lifetime. I think that's a reason in real life that a lot of humans lack vision, because why care about something that you're not going to be around to see the end of? It's not very motivating to work towards something that's only going to happen hundreds of years from now. But the spin field changes that. Humans bomb algae, bacteria, lichen onto a Martian surface, and terraform Mars in a space of months. They send a shipload of people over there, and within the matter of a few more months, they have a thriving, independent Martian culture for whom Earth is a distant memory 3,000, 4,000 years ago. And I think the sudden rush to achieve, the sudden rush to work together and take these technological leaps of faith is realistic, and that we would push for more knowledge if we knew we'd have a conclusion. One thing this book included that I thought was so cool, and was one of the turning points of the book for me, leading up to a root cause I did not see coming at all, was the inclusion of von Neumann probes. These were dreamt up by Hungarian-American mathematician John von Neumann. What they are self-replicating exploration robotic probes, with a set of instructions to do a job, and another set of instructions, that is, make more of yourself. I love when these classical science ideas from the mid-20th century are the core of a story. It makes the book feel so much more like retro sci-fi, because it's a story that's built around a single idea, and the implications of that idea. I have read that the way Wilson uses von Neumann probes in his story is similar to the way they appear in a David Brin story called Lungfish. So I would like to read that and compare at some point. If you've read that story and you've read this, let me know in the comments. Was it cribbed? Is it too similar? Stuff I wasn't too keen on. There were a couple of parts of this book, for me, where I thought maybe the author dumbed down the surrounding characters to make the main characters seem more clever. It only happened a few times, but when it did, it felt kind of out of place and weird. This is book one in a trilogy. But honestly, I don't know if I'm going to read the other two because this ended so nicely. Yes, it's an open ending, and I know a lot of people don't really like open endings. It's kind of a use your imagination to figure out what comes next ending, and these are the implications of another big event. I can understand fully if somebody told me they didn't like this ending, but I really enjoyed it. I'll get to the other ones one day, maybe. I'm not in a hurry. This one was very cool though. I think the only thing that dragged it down from a 5-star to a 4-star was how slow it was, and how much I wanted to gloss over some sections to get back to other sections that I was enjoying more. So yeah, 4 stars. If you like sci-fi, don't forget to join our Interstellar Book Club, which I'll link down below. Don't forget to follow me on Goodreads and Twitter, which I'll link down below. I'm on Readerly too now, my app is Max. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more single book reviews, and I'll see you soon for the next one. Bye!